Hello, welcome back to another vlog. I'm VA Winter. I'm an indie author, professional beta reader, sensitivity reader, focused mostly on speculative fiction, though I do other genres. More information about that on the links to my website down below. It is Saturday afternoon, and this vlog is very much more like a mini vlog because I didn't vlog during the week. It's been an interesting week, but the point of this vlog is planning. This weekend is the Your Path Forward course by Sarah Cannon / Heart Breathings. I will leave information about that link below as well. We have a workbook and it is long-term planning, so it's thinking about 3 to 5 years out, whereas the HB90 method, which is what I use for my day-to-day planning, that's a quarterly planning system. It's 90 days, whereas Your Path Forward is more of a, as I said, long-term thinking about the big stuff, where you're going, basically what the whole point of all those smaller tasks and projects are. I did do it back in January, but I feel like since January there's been a lot of changes this year, in the sense that I think my plans have clarified a lot. I don't want to have a day job. That's my primary goal right now, is to get to the point where I don't need to work and go out to work full-time, definitely, for somebody else. But on top of that, I've also sort of made that decision this year that actually I would like to try editing as well, and I'm currently doing a course in developmental editing. I've started it got a pin put in it, and we're picking back up with it in the new year. I've also decided that I want to move towards doing my PhD in the next year or two, so that's another decision that I've kind of made this year. Spoiler alert for my goals video, which is coming at the end of the year, but that's kind of broadly an idea of the decisions that I've made this year that have sort of impacted that long-term plan, because those weren't things that were necessarily on my goals list at the beginning of this year. So I have been filling out the workbook this morning. We had a live stream last night. What I'm doing now basically is I've chosen my goal, which no one will be shocked to learn that my goal is quit my job without having to get another one. So what I'm moving on to now, just to give you an idea, is basically a list of the things that I need to do in order to move towards that goal. So it's kind of thinking about projects, I suppose. There's highlighters involved in this step. I've bought myself some new sticky notes, because of course I did yesterday. These will be going on, I've got some big sheets of like cardstock that I'm using for my sort of Kanban boards, but they're not Kanban boards. They're just places to stick the sticky notes of, these are the steps I need to take in order to get to where I want to go. I'm going to get back to the actual planning. I will check in with you later on during the process, I think. Hello, good morning. It's Sunday morning. I'm not sure what the last little bit that I filmed was, but last night I carried on working. I basically worked on this Your Path Forward course, long-term plan, all of yesterday. I finished yesterday with index cards. The list that I showed you earlier on in the video, that has now turned into a pile of index cards, or 3 piles actually. This is the first pile. They are in order now as well. So the one at the front is kind of the one I'll start with, and then kind of goes on. We have an order of operations, that's what it's kind of called in this. That's the idea of the game board. These are the things I need to do, and this is the order I want to do them in. So now it's just kind of finding a way to best organise that. So what I have been doing is putting them on these. I've got 3 of these. I've got one that says 2024 on, but that's going away. So we've got 2025, 2026 and 2027. And then what I do is I put the stuff on sticky notes, and that kind of is like my Kanban boards, but doesn't have the to-do doing done. It's a visual representation of this is the stuff I want to get done this year. The idea is that I'm going to put the big stuff on the sticky notes, and they're going to go on these. They are then going to stay there because my plan is not going to change that much. The items on the plan might change slightly, the timing of the plan might change slightly, but the idea is I've decided and I'm not going to change my mind. Now, this is a common recurring problem in my life, is that I change my mind. I come up with a different idea, my anxiety kicks in, and that makes me think, oh, maybe I should replan this. No more. So that's the next step. I'm also going to be using a new planner. So this is by Paperian. I will link it down below. So this is an undated planner. It's got this yearly overview at the front. I don't know how well that's actually showing up, but basically it's got a little space to fill in the calendars, so I'll have to write these in, and then like a to-do list. But what I'm going to do is, instead of writing things in a to-do list, is I'm going to take smaller sticky notes. They're not actually going to fit very well. I have to cut them down maybe. But the point is with these little sticky notes that they don't exactly fit very well on here. They go more that way around, so I may put them that way around, or I might just lop the edges off. I'm going to write down the things on these little sticky notes that get done this year, because this is going to be 2025 planner. So then the idea is, because I put them on sticky notes, so if I write on this orange one that I'm going to finish my developmental editing course in March, hypothetically, and it's sitting on March, then what I can do, if I don't happen to finish it in, I can just move it to April, and it's less stressful than having to worry about crossing things out and rewriting them. It's like a game board. You just move it along if it doesn't happen in that month. This planner also has monthly spreads, which are undated, which are quite nice. And then it has weekly spreads, which are also undated, which are just kind of like vertical spreads. There's no times on it. And then at the end, it's just got some lined checklist type pages and then some grid pages. It's kind of a cardstock. It's hard. Plastic cover came on it, and I like it. We've got sticky notes everywhere, so I suppose it's just a case of getting on with creating the plan, really. Okay, that was my game board on my big game board, my 3-year sort of plan. And then I've got this in my planner, which is next year. And I think because my long-term plan shifted during the year, I felt quite like directionless and a bit all over the place. My HB90 has not gone tremendously well over the last couple of quarters either. And I think partly because of that, partly because I've struggled with that. Well, what is my priority? What should I be spending my time on? And I think now that I've got this, I've kind of got some very clear objectives to hit. All I've got left to do for Your Path Forward is the final live stream, which I will watch in a moment, close that course out, and then it's done. Get this video edited, hopefully get it posted this afternoon. And then it's just back on the treadmill for another week. Hopefully should be another vlog next week, hopefully an actual weekly vlog next week. I think that's really all there is to say, to be honest. So I think it is just a case of saying, if you have liked this video, hit like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video.